What is going on, guys? It is go time with your boy MegaCrasher, and I welcome you guys back to a brand new video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I present to you the long-awaited Palkia guide that I said that I would give to you guys when we announced that Palkia was going to be dropping into the raid battle system. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy. If you guys enjoyed this video and like what we present, then please be sure to smash the like button on this. I also want to give a big shout out to my brother slash best friend Jason for putting together this amazing PowerPoint presentation. So please show some love for his sake as well. So without further ado, let's begin with the basics of Palkia. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so to start things off, Palkia is going to be wielding the very unique typing of Water and Dragon. Now, speaking of these typings, when we go to encounter Palkia, the only way for it to be a boosted encounter, aka a level 25 encounter, is if it's either boosted by rain or by wind because of its Water and Dragon typing. The water typing gets boosted by rain and the dragon typing gets boosted by wind, so there are a couple of ways for this Pokemon to be encountered as a weather boosted encounter when you go to beat it in a raid battle. Now, speaking of encounters, we go further into detail here. The CP range goes from 2190 to 2280 if it's regular encounter at level 20, and by regular I'm talking about non-weather boosted, or if it is weather boosted, aka at level 25. Then of course the CP range goes from 2737 to 2850. Now the thing is that in order for you guys to get the elusive 100% IV Palkia, then it needs to either be 2280 non-weather boosted or 2850 weather boosted. So moving on to Palkia's stats right here. These stats are pretty interesting. So to start things off, we have a massive attack stat of 280, ranked 9th overall, which is ridiculously crazy. The defense stat being 215, ranked 35 overall, and last but not least, we have ourselves the stamina of 189, being ranked 147 overall. So the stamina obviously is the lowest, but it is backed up by a pretty beefy defense stat, and the thing is that obviously, its most prominent factor is going to be the attack stats, so clearly, this Pokemon is meant to attack and bring the pain. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so let's move on now to Palkia's moveset. We take a look at the fast moves. We have ourselves two tremendously good Dragon-type fast moves in Dragon Breath and Dragon Tail. And for the charge moves here, we got Fire Blast, Draco Meteor, and Hydro Pump. A very interesting assortment of tight coverage right here. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that we go ahead and we move on to what I would personally recommend. We have Dragon Tail for a fast move and Draco Meteor for the charge move if you want Palkia to be as hard-hitting and as menacing as possible in battle. You want this to be a mono dragon attacker. Now, the reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, for the charge move of Draco Meteor is the hardest hitting move that it gets, and Dragon Tail is slightly higher on the DPS than Dragon Breath. Although, I will say personally, you can't go wrong if you want to use Hydro Pump, because Hydro Pump is a really solid water type attack, and Dragon Breath does build meter rather quick, and it's hard. It hits very fast, it hits hard, but I would recommend the likes of Dragon Tail and Draco Meteor. But one more recommendation, stay away from Fire Blast. It offers absolutely nothing good for Palkia whatsoever. So now we move on to its type resistances and weaknesses. So we take a look at the resistances here. We have ourselves only 3 resistances, but 2 of those resistances are double resistances. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It resists steel and has a double resistance to fire and water, which I think is pretty damn awesome. So just go ahead and try to spam your water and fire type attacks on Palkia. That will just will be absolutely hilarious how little it does. But my recommendation, do not do that. Because here's the thing, is that it has weaknesses to Dragon and Fairy. So if you're going to be spamming any sort of attacks whatsoever, please spam super effective Dragon and Fairy type attacks if you want to beat this thing more successfully in the raid battle. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the main part of the video. Let's move on to the meat and potatoes. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be presenting to you guys some counters to Palkia. So, first things first, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have kind of like a three-way tie for first place here. Now, I will say that you want Rayquaza as the main attacker against Palkia because its DPS, its moveset is just absolutely crazy and ridiculous. But you see, here's the thing though, is that Dragonite and even Salamence don't fall too far behind when it comes to Rayquaza, and they all serve a very similar function in terms of their movesets, you know? You got Dragonite and Rayquaza utilizing the likes of Dragon Tail and Outrage, whereas Salamence gets Dragon Tail and Draco Meteor. The thing is that these three Pokemon right here deal very similar amounts of damage, so that's kind of why they are at a tie for first place, kind of. But also because of the fact that they all serve very similar functions in terms of damage and movesets, we also have other Pokemon that are very, very good candidates for Palkia counters, such as this guy right here, being Palkia, being itself. Yeah, that's right. Palkia is a good counter against Palkia with Dragon Tail and Draco Meteor. This Pokemon right here has a ridiculously high attack stat to back up its amazing offenses. So, moving on, we have ourselves Latios with Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw. This Pokemon I like to call the Dragon-type machine gun because this Pokemon, having access to Dragon Breath, it just absolutely hits ridiculously fast and ridiculously hard. And given the fact that it has access to Dragon Claw, which is a 3-bar charge move, it's going to be hitting its Dragon Claws so fast, so often, it's going to be causing a lot of damage for sure. So next on the list, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than Gardevoir. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, our first Fairy-type counter against Palkia. With the combination of Confusion and Dazzling Gleam, this Pokemon will do a lot of damage. Now, I will say, this Pokemon is somewhat frail, so this Pokemon will go down in about 2 hits when it comes to Palkia using its charge move against it because of how ridiculously powerful this Pokemon is in battle to face against when it is the actual raid boss itself. And last but not least, guys, we have Togekiss. Now, Togekiss is a bulkier fairy-type Pokemon. It's fairy and flying, and with the combination of Air Slash and Dazzling Gleam, this Pokemon having access to Dazzling Gleam is going to make it a pretty potent Fairy-type attacker. Same with Gardevoir, but we have Togekiss being slightly bulkier and being able to take hits a little bit better from the likes of Palkia. Now, what is a good counters list without some honorable mentions? That's right. We have ourselves the likes of Flygon. Flygon is a pretty good honorable mention because if you don't have access to any of these Pokemon right off the bat, Flygon is a pretty good bet. We also have ourselves the likes of the Alolan Executor. Alolan Executor can be pretty good as well, especially against Hydro Pump variants. We also have ourselves Kingdra, which shares the typing of Palkia. We have Giratina, which is a very good bulky dragon-type Pokemon, as well as a ghost, but you definitely want this Pokemon to have dragon-type attacks. And last but not least, guys, we have Gyarados. Now, Gyarados is a little bit of a shaky honorable mention, and the reason for that is because of the fact that the fast moves that it gets nowadays is Waterfall and Bite. So you do need to have Dragon Tail on Gyarados as well as Outrage in order for that Pokemon to be a more suitable counter to the likes of Palkia. And ladies and gentlemen, that right there is going to be a wrap-up in this presentation of how to use Palkia, or I should say, how to counter Palkia, not how to use Palkia. Well, I suppose it's also a how to use Palkia guide because I did give you guys some recommended movesets for Palkia to use when you have a Palkia of your own. But this is mostly a video of what you need to know about Palkia and how to counter Palkia with the likes of stats, movesets, counters, and more. So thank you guys so very much for tuning into this video. I really appreciate your guys' time. And if you guys did enjoy this video, then please be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. And I will see you next up, though.